Hey guys, so today's video is a review of the 2018 Chrysler 300S with rear-wheel drive and the 3.6-liter V6 Pentastar engine. This car is back for its 14th model year, providing people with bold American styling, luxury, and good power all in one car. For this review, I will try to talk about and show all the aspects of the car inside and out. I also want to compare this model to other luxury cars that are close in price. And if you do want to see my last car review on the 2017 Dodge Charger Daytona RT model, make sure to check the top right corner. So this review will be split up into 6 categories: Chrysler model comparison, design, performance, gas mileage, luxury and interior features, and the competition. And keep in mind that everything I say is just my opinion. When comparing the models within Chrysler, for 2018 the S falls third in the 300 lineup between the Touring L and the Limited. Looking at the MSRP, the S starts at $36,295. Going down one model to the Touring L will save you $3,655, and going up one model is a $1,250 bump for the Limited. And the top model is the 300C at $49,995, and this is the only model with the Hemi standard. And the higher up you go, they have higher price tags due to more luxury features and options. The next thing I want to look at is performance. To do that, the first thing to check out is the engine and transmission. The 300S has the same 3.6-liter V6 Pentastar engine that is pretty much found across the board in the Fiat Chrysler lineup. This engine normally makes 292 horsepower, but the S model is specially tuned, which results in a bump of 8 horsepower up to 300 and torque up 4 to 264 pound-feet. An 8-speed automatic transmission is paired with the engine. There are also paddle shifters mounted to the steering wheel, a button to turn off traction control, and Sport Mode. Sport Mode allows for manual shifting with the paddle shifters and decreases shifting time, increasing engine and throttle response and firming up the steering wheel. I honestly found the Sport Mode to really wake up the car and makes it feel a lot sportier than it actually is. The 5.7-liter V8 Hemi is also an option if you want to replace the V6 for $3,000 extra. And the 300S is rear-wheel drive by default, but you can add all-wheel drive for $2,500, but only to the V6 models. And this is a very heavy sedan, weighing in at 4,087 pounds, so the 0 to 60 is 6.3 seconds, and the quarter mile takes 15 seconds flat for the V6. I definitely found this 300S fun to drive. The stock exhaust was very quiet, but that's exactly what you want from a luxury car. But I found it does get a bit louder in sport mode. The transmission is great and the engine has plenty of power to get you around. On the negative side, I did find the suspension a little too stiff when compared to other luxury cars, and the 300S is definitely better for cruising in a straight line than taking corners. Next, let's look at the great Chrysler styling. This version of the 300 is getting pretty old, as the second generation body style has been around since 2011, but I still think that it's a beautiful looking car. Any of the 300 models look good, but the 300S does have some exterior features that make it look even better. Mostly everything that is covered in chrome on the other models are blacked out here, so the grille and lower fascia are slightly different and blacked out, and so are the headlight bezels. This 300S also has the S Appearance package, which adds some features like a more aggressive lower front fascia, body color spoiler, and LED fog lamps. These features are taken from the 300 SRT that is available right now in Australia, New Zealand, and the Middle East. I definitely think this package is a must-have and adds the right touches to make the car look perfect. Even after all this time, the outside of the 300 remains appealing because it gives you an upscale looking car at a nice price with its long hood, low roof, and big wheels. And speaking of those wheels, I'm a very big fan of them. You get 20 by 8 inch aluminum hyper black wheels with 245/45/20 all-season tires. If you get the alloy package, which I'll talk about later, then you can get the same wheels finished in dark bronze aluminum. I think either of these wheels fit perfectly on the 300S, and the design is on point. The last part of design has to do with colors offered. So this 300S is in a bright white paint, and from 2017, Chrysler has taken away the Jazz Blue and Redline Red options, but they've now added Ocean Blue and Green Metallic. So overall, there are 9 color options available as shown on screen. And honestly, I have nothing but good things to say about the 300S design, and it can be appealing to both older customers and younger people as well. Gas is one of the biggest expenses in everyday life for most people, so it's definitely important to talk about when you're buying a car. If you choose the V6 with rear-wheel drive, you'll get 19 miles per gallon city, 30 highway, and then 23 mpg combined. I found these numbers were pretty accurate for me, and I really enjoyed getting 30 plus mpg on the highway. That's really solid for a heavy car with 300 horsepower. If you do go for the all-wheel drive V6 version, your fuel economy will dip down to 18 city, 27 highway, and 21 overall. And the V8 Hemi option will give you a 16-25-19 split. Obviously this isn't a small super efficient 4-cylinder car, but fuel economy is not bad considering the engines. So now let's look at some of the luxury and interior features of this car. So the 300S interior is just okay for an entry-level luxury car, and it doesn't do much to blow you away. I'll say what I think is negative first. So there are some cheap feeling plastics throughout the cabin, like on the doors and especially on the lower panels of both the driver and passenger seating areas. These materials are pretty rough feeling and very easily scratched, and the same goes for the backs of the front seats. The dashboard looks nice and is soft to touch, but still is not very upscale material. I was also really surprised to see how low quality and blurry looking the backup camera was on screen. And finally, the trunk space is not as big as it should be either, and it's actually smaller than many other large cars. For example, the 300S trunk capacity is 11 liters less than the smaller Honda Accord. I'm just a little nitpicky for these things because this is supposed to be a luxury car. Now on to the good. You definitely are getting a really comfortable ride, the cabin keeps out the noise very well, and the piano black trim adds a nice touch but does attract lots of fingerprints. Instead of a traditional shifter, there's a rotary dial on the center console that looks clean and sophisticated. The seats are very nice leather trim sports bucket seats in black, and they're 8-way power adjustable and heated. I really liked that the seats had white stitching, which added contrast and made the seats visually stand out and look a lot more luxurious. You can also upgrade to suede, Napa, ventilated seats, and a few color and stitching options for extra cost. I found the seats very comfortable for short trips and had no complaints when I drove it for over 3 hours at a time. The steering wheel is leather wrapped, and I really liked that the places I wanted to rest my elbows were also padded for extra comfort. The rear seats have tons of room, and if you see on screen, this is my 6'4" uncle sitting in the back seats, and he fits pretty comfortably back there with lots of leg room. My 300S had the panoramic sunroof option, which was nice, but comes with a pretty steep $1,895 price tag and cuts both the front and rear seat headroom by over an inch. All the 300 models come with what I think is the best infotainment system on the market, that being the Uconnect 4 system with the 8.4-inch touchscreen. The interface is super easy to use, and the touchscreen feels very responsive. As of 2017, the Uconnect got upgraded with better graphics and Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, which I really loved using with my iPhone. Below the touchscreen are some buttons and knobs. I like that Chrysler added these for things you use very often, such as the AC, defroster, and volume, so you can just click a button quickly while driving instead of meddling through the Uconnect menu. You can also get the Uconnect with navigation, but that's an extra $995. I definitely think overall that the Uconnect system is a huge plus for this car. Unfortunately, the standard Beats audio system is gone and replaced by Alpine. The Alpine system didn't stand out to me in any way and seemed very average, and the Beats system is still available but will cost you $995. There are also a bunch of packages to add on as well, like the Alloy Pack, Premium Group, and Safety Tech. The Alloy Pack is pretty cool and adds dark bronze touches like badging, grille, wheels, and floor mats. The Safety Tech features include adaptive cruise control, collision warning, lane departure warning, and park sense, and other safety features. So overall, the interior has some nice luxury materials, like the seats, but it also has its fair share of cheap plastics. It also seems that Chrysler is taking away many features and making you pay tons of money for them. You can easily price this 300S from the base $36,000 into the $40,000s just by adding some safety and sound features. And I definitely think that some of the things like safety features should at least be included with this model. So now let's explore the competition. As with the Dodge Charger, the Chrysler 300 competition is pretty much the same. I've looked at the $35,000 to $40,000 range for sedans only, and there are roughly 10 competitors. Most of the other options are entry-level luxury, such as the Audi A4, Jaguar XE, Lexus IS300, Lexus ES350, and Mercedes C-Class. I feel that the 300 might lack a little bit of luxury compared to these cars, but it does pack more power, since all these cars only feature 4 cylinders, and some have V6s, but the 300 does have a pretty powerful V6 and a Hemi option as well. Other competitors include the Lincoln MKZ, Kia Optima, Toyota Avalon, Brother Dodge Charger, and the Alfa Romeo Giulia. So that's the end of the video and also the end of the review. Overall, the 300S model fits well into the middle of the Chrysler lineup. I like the visual features and look of the car, even after all these years, and for the V6, the performance was good and gas mileage was great. The cabin is very roomy, and the car feels comfortable and luxurious. Not quite as luxurious as maybe some of the other options, but you do sacrifice that luxury to get a bit more power. If you are looking at a big sedan, this car should definitely get some battery consideration, especially if you want a V8, since this model and the Charger are basically the last big rear-wheel drive sedans that have V8s out there for their price points. Thanks for watching, make sure to like and subscribe for more Mopar content, and I'll see you next video.